In my video, Naruto has no strategy, I explained how the 4th war had some of the most strategic fights in the story. Naruto, Kakashi, Guy, and Killer Bee jumping Obito is one of the most tactical fights in Naruto. I thought it deserved a breakdown of its own. Quick recap. Obito has two main powers. I'll call them Warp and Phase. Warp allows him to teleport anyone he's touching to a different dimension. Phase allows him to teleport specific parts of his body to another dimension to avoid attacks, making it look like he's phasing through them. Whenever Obito is phasing, he can't warp. I'm only going to be focusing on the Obito fight, no tailed beasts or Madara. The fight starts in chapter 566. Obito is about to grab and warp Naruto, but Guy kicks him, forcing him to warp himself, allowing Kakashi to grab Naruto away. Out the gate, this fight is letting viewers know that this fight will be cerebral. It picks back up in 594. Naruto attacks with Rasengan, but Obito reflects it with his fan. 595 is where the strategy goes crazy. Obito's macro strategy is to warp his opponents and phase through their attacks. The hero's macro strategy is to force Obito to phase himself so he can't warp them. The heroes start pulling out their jutsus and weapons and get into action. Naruto tries to punch Obito, but Obito phases through him and smacks Naruto once he's all the way through. This turns out to be a clone. The second Naruto stretches his arm with a Biju bomb, but Obito phases through it and charges at him. Just as Obito's hand is about to reach Naruto, Guy comes from above with his nunchucks and times his attack perfectly, so Obito prioritizes phasing over warping. This saves Naruto and forces Obito to go through him. After he's out, Guy immediately follows up with another strike, which Obito blocks with his fan. Obito thinks throwing kunai will work on him, but Guy's too good for that. Naruto prepares another bomb while Guy charges in. Apparently, Guy isn't just good at taijutsu, he's also mastered nunchaku jutsu. Guy swings, but Obito uses his ocular powers to phase through the chuck. He plans to warp Guy with his hand as soon as the chuck exits his head, but Guy is too clean and kicks the chuck back through his head with his foot, forcing Obito to phase through it and through him. But Obito wasn't done. He turns around and tries to smack him with a fan, but Guy isn't an amateur and covers his back with the chucks. Even Naruto has to admire the skill. Naruto tries to hit Obito with another mini bomb, but Obito turns into Spider-Man and uses his fan to swing away. Meanwhile, Kakashi tries to use his Kamui to warp away the Ten Tails, but is cancelled somehow. This is the first hint in this battle towards Obito's identity. Naruto launches another bomb and it explodes, but Obito is gone. He comes out of the ground like Kakashi in the bell test and tries to warp Naruto, but Naruto sensed him and started running away. Obito decides to stun on Naruto with his battle IQ by revealing that he can also phase his fan. He swings his fan, it phases through a rock beside Naruto and smacks him. The chain wraps around Naruto, allowing Obito to pull himself in. Kakashi and Bee team up to bail out Naruto. Bee throws Kakashi, who has lightning on his kunai, allowing him to cut through the rocks thanks to the elemental advantage. Obito reels in Naruto like Scorpion, and Kakashi isn't about to make it in time, so he throws the kunai at Obito. As expected, Obito prioritizes getting a flawless victory, so he phases. But once the kunai is out, he decides to be cheeky and use it as his own attack, kicking it towards Naruto. Kakashi calls ISO on the kunai, while Naruto goes to hit Obito with the Gum Gum pistol. Kakashi warps the kunai away at the same time as Obito phases his face through Naruto's punch. Obito jumps away and the heroes regroup. The masked man slowly turns around to reveal that his flawless victory has been stripped away from him. His mask has a scratch on it. The copy ninja starts theorizing what just happened, so he decides to test out his theory. Bee throws the trio at Obito. Guy breaks the rocks like Gon and starts swinging on Obito with his chucks, but using his enhanced perception, Obito phases through and grabs the chucks at the right moment, allowing him to warp them. But this was all part of the plan. Naruto leapfrogs the green beast to surprise his opponent with a Rasengan. Obito finishes warping just in time to phase through the Rasengan. The Rasengan is also warped by Kakashi, and the two phase through each other and turn around like they're in the intro of Sonic Adventure 2. And then Obito's back gets blown out. Pause. Kakashi's theory was correct. Both of their time-space jutsus are connected. Kakashi and Obito's eyes warp things to the same dimension. Kakashi explains how Obito's jutsu works to everyone, and there's a visual representation of this masterpiece that just happened. At this point, Kakashi has almost figured out who the masked man really is. Obito starts yapping about his goals and philosophy, but Naruto starts talking back and unleashes his Kurama mode. The #1 knucklehead ninja tries to slam Obito, but he phases through it. What was he thinking? Obito reveals that he also keeps weapons tucked in his eyes. He shoots giant shuriken, but the two Jinchuriki stop them. Obito releases giant spikes that pin down Bee and restrain his power. Bee protects the two Narutos as one charges an Oppenheimer and the other jumps at Obito with a Rasengan. Kakashi starts warping the Rasengan, but Obito thinks he's Goku. The same move won't work on me twice. He shoots Naruto with the spike and he's gone. But notice how there's no poof that usually appears when a clone is dispelled. Kakashi is getting tired from using Kamui, and Obito thinks that he outplayed Kakashi. The second Naruto shoots the Biju bomb he was charging. Obito escapes Fat Boy by phasing, but he's met with the first Naruto, who slams his Rasengan into his face. That's right, Kakashi didn't warp the Rasengan, he warped Naruto the instant Obito attacked. Obito gets his mask smashed, and the theories are revealed to be true. Obito starts getting into Kakashi's head and spits fire, no mixtape, but Naruto blocks it. Madara pulls up in chapter 600, and the two pose for the gram before wrecking stuff. The fight returns when Obito shoots giant shurikens at Kakashi, which are countered by a mud wall. Obito phases through and starts making Kakashi look like an amateur as revenge for their childhood. He stabs Kakashi in the knee and calls him garbage before warping him away. Kakashi said nah and warps himself back. Kakashi thinks he's Naruto when he tries to talk no jutsu Obito, but Obito says enough talk and starts beating him up. He knees him in the face and cuts him with his giant shurikens. Kakashi is looking goofy, but to be fair, he's distracted by the fact that Obito's still alive, and it might be his fault that Obito's the way he is now. Obito gave him an X-shaped scar on his chest like Akainu did Luffy. Apparently, Obito has his own brand of talk no jutsu, where he makes opponents hate themselves. Kakashi starts saying, yeah, I am garbage, but you don't have to be, but Obito says everyone's garbage. Naruto cancels out Obito's talk with his own talk no jutsu, right as he stops Madara and Obito, and then the two clones sync up for an iconic line, which is what Kakashi said in the Land of Waves. That's an epic callback. Naruto's words cancel out Obito's, and Kakashi and Guy decide to start turning up like they got baddies watching in the stands. Hirodora blasts Madara back, and Raikiri breaks Obito's shuriken. Obito uses his new wood style to wrap around Naruto's arm while he tries to warp Kakashi with his other arm, but Naruto headbutts him back. This is the second time Naruto has headbutted Obito. He probably thinks that's what people mean when they tell him to use his head. Kurama switches places with Naruto, gives Kakashi chakra by touching him, and throws Kakashi at Obito, who warps him. Naruto uses another Gum Gum pistol, which Obito faces through, but Kakashi on the other side starts using his phased body part as a sandbag. When Obito's face starts phasing, he smacks him in the face with a nice right. That's payback for the knee in the face. Kurama reveals that he can give others chakra, which explains why Kakashi now has enough chakra to warp himself back at any time. That's the end of the fight because the Ten Tails interrupts. This fight is so good and is carried by such a simple ability. Kamui has two powers, warp and phase. In terms of ideas, warp is C grade, it's not creative, and then phase is B grade. Phasing on its own would be C, but the fact that he's teleporting parts of his body to a different dimension makes it a B. So we have a B and a C grade power in terms of idea, but execution is what turns this fight into a masterpiece. There are two limits that really elevate the fight. Limit 1, Obito can't phase and warp at the same time. This gives him an exploitable weakness. Due to Obito's character, he always prioritizes phasing. Limit 2, Obito's phasing is connected to Kakashi's warping. This gives him another exploitable weakness. And then the way all the characters maneuver around the warp and phase is magnificent. It feels like Kishimoto really sat down and thought of all the different ways both sides could use the abilities to their advantage. Obito was slipping through attacks and materializing himself at the perfect time to land blows. The heroes were finding creative ways to force Obito to phase to stop him from warping them, and then they moved to forcing Obito to phase so Kakashi could use his warp to get damage on him. There are so many layered plans and combo attacks, it's simply beautiful. In conclusion, this fight is brilliant because of its creative abilities, creative execution, exploitable weaknesses, and layered strategies. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and help me revolutionize the manga industry by buying my manga and spreading the word. All important links will be in the description.